If you're ready.
Hello, I'm Tony, and I'll talk about Korean reunification today. Is it really needed? Let's get straight to the point. I don't think so. Okay, I'll tell you why. First, there are social reasons, and second, there are national security problems, and third, economic problems, and fourth, problems after Korean reunification. And fourth, I'll tell you about ideal measures that I think about future Korea. First, I'll tell you about social problem, why we shouldn't reunify. First, difference. Difference had been bigger than 70 years after division. And second, there are lowering quality of the population. Well, North Korea is a very poor country, and citizens of North Korea is very poor and suffering of poverty. North Korea's GDP is $684, which is 168th of all world, and so it can be bad for security, and so it means that having North Korea's people is having Somalian refugees, and there are drug problems too. It's hard to recover North Korea's drug problems. North Korea's society is allowing drugs secretly, but our South Korean society doesn't allow drugs, so it can be a conflict. Okay. Second, national security problem. It's hard to reduce the number of troops. If we United States will try to make the South Korean military, no, reunify Korean military to check the military power of China and Russia north of our country. And it's a problem directly connected to the security of the unified Korea. The unified South Korea faces the border with China and Russia's powerful army. It could be a direct conflict with China and Russia, and there's possibility of civil war. In Yemen's case, peaceful reunifications was achieved, but there were cases where these are cases where civil war broke out. South and North Korea, which shows difference in cultures, is more likely. Civil war continues for this reason in Africa, including Sudan and Rwanda. And third, there are economic problem. Okay, there are North Korea's government bond issue. The Wall Street Journal and Reuters reported that 60 million German mark and 455 million Swiss francs is the North Korea's bond issue, and these days is about $941 million, about 1.8 trillion won in South Korean won. And there could be a low manpower level and labor market problems in North Korea. There is a possibility of lowering the average wage in South Korea, and it's difficult to say that the perception of North Korean workers in South Korea will also be bad due to the perception of this missing daily workers and increase in the unstable social safety net. In addition, there would be a possibility that regional conflicts will intensify due to such discrimination between South and North people and economic gap between the two Koreas. And the most important problem is the cost of denuclearization. No, the problem is that North Korea, that it is not, it's almost impossible to estimate the cost of removing nuclear weapons, and there is no country to legally pay for it. And in the case of Kazakhstan, U.S. and other countries had helped denuclearization of Kazakhstan with money, but the amount is so large that nuclear warheads are still dominant in Russia, with only some dismantle. Okay, fourth ideal future is my opinion. I think Korean Federation would be ideal measures of future Korea, and we can unite as federation as United States. After the signing peace at the war, we can make central government and maintain North and South's own government like state government in USA. So thank you for listening.